Amsterdam in Netherlands, and it's really the center of the club music in a way. So I was really as a young music producer, I was really fitted by the electronic music scene, the European music scene.
So how old were you when you started listening to electronic music?
Maybe 14 years old.
And how did you discover it?
You know, sometimes it's your brother. You know, you can say grand brother. No, my older brother.
Older brother.
Yeah, yeah. Grand brother. It doesn't exist.
I was like, what?
Okay, disclaimer before I start the interview. I might say invent weird words because my English is not perfect. Okay, but no, seriously, it's my older brother and the older brother of my best friend, who were really fond of electronic music. And when you are young, you don't dig that much the music you listen to. You just listen what's at home. So for me, it was like just listening to the compilation of the Chemical Brothers, Fatboy Slim, The Prodigy, which are electronic music artists from UK, and I was totally excited about those artists. And you have to know that in France, when I was young, it was the time and the big highlight of the first French touch wave. It was Daft Punk. You know, Daft Punk in '98 released their first album, and it was kind of a big boom in France and all around the world about French electronic music.
Wow. And when did you start producing, or when did you get interested in that?
Directly, I can say, like yeah, because when I started listening to it and watching videos of DJs, I was like, okay, I want to do the same. It's as if when you are a fan of rock, you want your first guitar. For me, it wasn't a guitar; it was turntables. So for Christmas, I was like, okay, I don't know if you do that in the US, but in France you can tell you tell your aunt, your parents, everyone who gives your present. No, I don't want many presents. Put all the money together and buy me turntables.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I did not tell anyone in my family. Wow.
So I did that, and so I got my first turntables when I was maybe 15 years old. I was not good at all at DJing at first, because I only had few. It was on vinyls, you have to know, at that time.
That's right.
Yeah, and there were back in the days. For those who are too young, a vinyl is big, black and round, and you put it on a turntable.
Yeah, one by one.
No, so but joke apart, I used to go to the shop once a week because I hadn't that much money at the time, and I just buy one vinyl per week, and I try to mix it with the vinyl I bought the week before.
Oh my God.
So little by
challenge.
little, yeah, but little by little, I had that kind of collection of vinyls, and I started to DJ. And when you start, you just look at parties that can accept you as a bad DJ. So I was DJing at my brother's birthday.
Oh my God.
I DJed at school for the equivalent of a prom night. But you know, when you in a prom night, you want like entertaining music and kind of mainstream music. Yeah. And I was only playing like underground house music.
Oh.
So for them, I was not the highlight of the party.
Oh no!
Yeah,
but it's
like
good
that.
experience.
It's like that.
Yeah, you learn from that. You get more experience, and you find your own tune.
Yeah, exactly.
Were your parents very supportive of you going into music?
Yeah. They were pretty supportive. They were like, okay, if you are really interested in sound, because it was not only about music, it was also about sound engineering, how to work and how to use the sound to tell emotions. It was what interests me a lot. So they were like, okay, if that's your way, right? But you have to study in that direction. So I did like 6 years of studies of sound engineering.
Oh wow.
While in the same time I had a few bands in France, and one high school band and one band before, and it was before I started my solo career as mid.
Was it Club Cheval?
It was Club Cheval, yes.
Was that the first or second band?
Second band. The other one you don't know about it because it was really my first band, you know, the garage band. You know.
Oh, garage band.
Yeah. So yeah, it was, and so I spent. That's how I went to Paris because this sound engineering school was in Paris, so I moved to Paris.
I see. Okay, and then from then you did Club Cheval and.
Exactly, and little by little it went like bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And after my study, when I got my diploma, I started, instead of becoming a good sound engineer intern, I became a professional international DJ.
You have that DJ voice too. You're like DJ. I can't even say.
That's not my real voice.
Oh wow. Okay, so at least you got your degree in case you know, but. Sounds like you really moved on, went to Club Cheval, did that, and then I know you guys went your own separate ways afterwards.
Yeah, that's it. Like Club Cheval ended 4 years ago, and at that time we were signed on a French label named Bromance. Maybe you know some of the artists on Bromance. It was Gesaffelstein.
Oh,
Gesaffelstein was on Bromance.
Wait, is that really how? Okay, he's like my favorite artist ever.
Okay.
But I don't know how to. It's like I thought it was Gesaffelstein.
I know that in the US you say Gesaffelstein, but it's Gesaffelstein.
Gesaffelstein.
Yeah.
So okay. Wow.
And if
Am
you
I
want
a
to
real
be
fan?
perfect, it's not even like Gesa, it's Gesa with a Z.
Gesaffelstein.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah. So Gesaffelstein was on this label. Brodinski was on it,
Brodinski,
and
yeah.
it was all that team and Club Cheval also.
Oh okay.
And this label just closed. You can say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just finished.
Ended.
So the label ended in 2016. We made a big party to say goodbye.
Oh.
But after the good party, the day after, I was like, okay, no more band because we didn't want that much to work together with Club Cheval because we already did an album, a world tour. So we were like, okay, we did enough.
Yeah.
And you know, when you spend some time, that much time with some people, even if you love them, at some point
Too
you are
much
like,
time.
I need to do my own stuff. So I was like, okay, I have no label. It's time to take your musical career and take that as a sign. And I was like, okay. So I spent a year. At that time, my studio was in my living room. Mm-hmm. No living room anymore, actually. It was more like a studio in the middle of my...
It's your studio.
Yeah. It was a cool studio, but I spent a year only wearing underwear and trying to find and to say what I have to say musically. And after a year, I had an EP ready.
Oh wow!
And I was okay.
It worked. The underwear, the living room studio.
Yeah, that's a way to work. You know, you just wake up. You don't do nothing except making music. You don't want to think about like, oh, I need to be cool and wear cool clothes and blah blah blah. You're just like,
true.
I need to finish this music. I need to find my way. And after a year of
I want to live like the French.
Yeah.
This sounds great.
After a year doing that, I was like, okay, let's. I have this EP ready. Now I need to find a label. So in France, you don't have that much choice, and I really wanted to keep the family style around me to work, you know. Because Bromance was kind of family, because it was also my management company. Club Cheval, they were definitely my brothers. Yeah. So I really needed that, and for me, the only label who is really family style in Paris is Headbanger.
Okay, and that's who you're signed with now.
Yeah. So I went to their office and I was like, okay, Pedro, maybe you know the head of Headbanger, it's Buzzy P. He used to be a Daft Punk manager. Okay. And the Headbanger, it's the label of Justice, of Sebastian, Breakbot, and this team. And so I was already fan of their music. Yeah. And I was like, okay, but they are a real family, they are friends for real. So I definitely need to I definitely need to contact Pedro, Buzzy P. And so I went with my demos, and he liked the demos, but he always takes time to answer. So I went to his office, I played my demos, and he was like, okay, it's cool.
And that was it?
I was like, huh? And then he was, let's go to have a lunch. I was like, okay. And during the lunch, he's like, what do you want to do with those demos? Have you an idea of a label or something? And I'm like, what? I'm thinking about you, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And a week later, he came back to me and he was like, okay, let's go, let's do it.
What changed his mind, do you know?
I don't think it changed his mind. It's more like professional people, they don't act too fast when they take decisions.
I see, yeah.
So it took the time maybe to play the songs to
think about it.
some people, think about it, think about the strategy and everything. And now the adventure is still on.
Wow. So it sounds like you've gone through a lot from the beginning to now, and now you're with Ed Bingers. And what would you say are some of the challenges that you faced when producing music?
From during the time? What do you mean about that?
Yeah, like what are some problems that you faced?
Problems, yeah. It's always complicated to do music or to do art at a point. It's not an easy thing, because if you want art to be interesting and people to get interested about it, it has to be really sincere. And I don't want to sound too cheesy, but I will say cheesy things because making art is cheesy as fuck, okay? But yeah, you have to dig deep into yourself. What do you have to say? How do you want to say it? Who do you want to talk to? And it's not easy questions when in front of you to answer that you only have a computer and synthesizers.
Yeah.
It's like the tool you have to use is not that easy to tell. If you have
it doesn't talk to you.
Yeah, you have to be really, you are really by yourself in a studio at a point. Like even if you are surrounded by good musicians or whatever, if you are the main artist, you have to dig into yourself. So, and it's pretty interesting because I was watching the Disney Plus Beatles documentary, which is really interesting. It's when the Beatles went really famous and they had to do a new album, but they didn't like each other anymore because they were really famous, big ego and everything, and they filmed the whole session, so it's hours and hours of rush of them trying to make music. Yeah. And it's crazy how even if they are the Beatles, it's hard for them to do music together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the main problem for me, that you think that at some point when you found your style, you are like, oh, it will be easy, it will be like natural, but every time you start a new project, new song, new album, it's always like, whoa, it's a thing. The start, and one big problem for most of the artists, and for me too, it's like my theory is about the 10 last percent is like start a demo, continue it to make it a real track. Yeah. It's not it. When you are into it, you can go forward, but at a point when you have to finish it and say it's finished,
it's done. Yeah.
It's never finished.
Wow.
So you have to force yourself to be like, okay, it will never be finished, but it's like that. So you have to know, like, even big artists, and it's actually Gesaffelstein who told me the first about that. Yeah. When he told me like, hey, I'm working on a new album, and I'm like, oh, you must be so happy. Yeah. And he was like, no, I'm not happy at all, it's horrible. Really? Of course. Wow. To start something, it's really complicated because you are facing your problems. You know, when you are on tour, you play your music, you have your fans,
Yeah.
you already know people, you are confident about your songs.
Yeah.
You know, you have other problems which are I need to sing well, I need to perform, to play stuff, but it's more, it's technical
Yeah.
in a way. But when you are making new song, making music, making art, you are asking yourself 1,000 questions that you will never answer.
Wow. So it's like all the unknowns basically.
Yeah. The more simple your music seems to be,
Yeah.
the more complicated is it to make.
Interesting.
You know, it's as if I tell you, you have this room and you have to decorate this room, and I give you unlimited budget to make it. You know, it's okay. At some point, you will find a good idea. You will put stuff everywhere. But if I tell you, you can only put one couch and one painting on the wall, and I want it to be amazing, new, and creative, what will you do? You are like, oh,
I don't know what.
you don't know, and I don't know either. But you will have really to think about it, think about a concept, an idea, and yeah, it's not that easy.
Yeah. Tell me about your process about Born a Loser. I know that came out in 2021.
Yeah.
What started that? What inspired that? And what?
So it's my first album, like a long format. So before that, I only made EPs or singles. And when you make an EP or a single, you only have to put all your inspiration and energy in one song or two. So you have to put all your ideas in it. As I told you about the decoration metaphor, it was okay. You put everything, and you have a good cover and one good video, and that's it. But sometimes you don't feel that you have enough space to express yourself. So that's how I started my album Born a Loser. It was more like to experiment more. I've less pressure on one song, so you can have like songs that are not less interesting, but more album songs that are more to tell a longer story and less in the format of verse, chorus, and blah blah blah. And it has to be a big melody. You can be like, take your time, or have really. For example, I have 1 minute and a half songs also in this album. So it started from that, like I needed a bit of air and a bit of space. It's as if I just like I bought a bigger canvas to paint on, you know.
Yeah.
So that was the idea, and about the album, it was also kind of a milestone after 3 years of releasing stuff on my own. I really wanted to have an album to conclude this period of time and to say like, okay, this sound I made with the songs that worked pretty well, like The Sun, like Moving Man with Mac DeMarco. It was more like, okay, let's conclude of that, and so I will now this year start a new chapter with new songs, maybe rethink a little bit about the sound, and work on a new album too, maybe. So yes, that's the idea.
Where did the name come from? I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but why that name?
Born a Loser, it's when I told you about the way I made this album, like mostly in underwear by myself in my living room, because this album was made in a way that way for most of the songs. I'm like, okay, that's crazy, because for years and years and years growing in the music electronic scene, I always had in me the fact that I'm kind of I have to change in a way, like I'm too much like from French, from north of France. I need to dress differently. I need to make a music that is more mainstream or more calibrated, and to change. But the more I got close to the kid I was when I started making music, you know, when I was by myself in my room, I was a crazy geek about like gear and everything.
Yeah.
the more I was happy making music in studio, and so it's kind of a high five to the 14 years old myself, like born a loser. Okay, you can keep this loser way and this loser way of life in a way, and make it.
Yeah.
And make an album that
yourself.
people will be yourself.
Yeah.
And that's how I see. That's how I feel about this. The name of the album, and it's also an high five to all the. Do you say that in the US, like anti-heroes? Kind of the. There is the heroes, and there is like not heroes. You don't say heroes. You say like. How would you call like? Do you watch The Office?
Yeah.
Do you know Dwight?
Yeah.
Okay, how would you call this character? Like
nerdy? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't watch that much. I'm listening to a few episodes.
When you are the main character, but you are not the main character because you are perfect. You are the main character because of your imperfections.
Because you're. Relatable every day? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we're just gonna give up on this one.
We will find it.
And then you also came up with a couple music videos I saw. What was like? They're so unique and very like, I don't know. It's like super like entertaining to watch. Like, how did you get that to come to life? What was your vision behind that?
The idea was not to pull apart the videos and the music videos, and not to think about the videos as a plus, but more like I need to integrate my music video as a project. It has to be really like melted into the project. And so I worked with this amazing director and photographer named Alice Moitié, who worked with me on most of the artistic direction. And she worked a lot with American artists, actually, with Miley Cyrus, with Lil Dicky. She's really good, and she worked with lots of French artists. She's French. And so every time I'm finishing a song, and I'm really happy about it, I'm thinking, okay, what the song is about, and what image do I see when I think about when I listen to this song. And I really want it to be something that will totally like fit the music.
I see.
So, and sometimes in the music I don't put that much humor, because as I told you, you are telling something about yourself, so you don't want that much to joke about it.
Yeah.
But I love to have fun, so the videos also help me to tell that about me, about my humor and what I like to laugh about.
Yeah.
So for example, the video I shot in LA for Together We Stand.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, with this music, I like to dance.
There are a lot of dance moves in there.
It makes me dance. But I also want to tell the Together We Stand story about like how, as a musician, as a DJ, or as an artist, you create a community around you. But with the video, I wanted to be fun about that, like how you think that you create a community around you, but you are by yourself most of the time. And so we found this idea with Alice Moitié.
Yeah.
Like, because you have to know that I'm a really bad dancer.
Really? You were good.
Yeah, but I took 1 month of dancing lessons to make this video. And so and it was hard as fuck. It was really, really hard, because the idea was like, okay, you will go in all the cliche LA places, like a motel, a TikTok Hollywood sign, TikTok house and places, and you will dance in those places where you are not supposed to, and you will try to catch a camera who is not filming you, who is filming something else. So it's, for example, we are in the street and the camera is filming like this old guy with his dog, which is really MAGA old guy, and I'm dancing in front of him, and the camera is trying to avoid me, like, and it's the whole point of the video. But every time I like to to add to the making of the video, like kind of something I have to learn or to get really implicated in. So on this one, it was 1 month of dancing lessons with a French choreographer.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really hard because I didn't add no dance move, only the DJ dance move, which are. But now I'm better. Oh, look at that, the dog. You can film the dogs, huh?
Do you want there's the dog. Oh oh no, here we go. Oh my god.
But yeah, so for example, so that's the idea, like we start by what's the song, then what do we want to tell about the song, and then how to use it, not to in a simple way, like it's not because it talks about that it needs to be about that, like we have to tell something a bit deeper. Yeah,
so it's kind of like full circle in a sense where you make the song and then you really expand on it and talk about it more. And that's awesome.
And we have to, as I use social medias, I need to use videos to also like tell a story about the project. Yes.
So what are some of your up and coming projects?
I'm working right now because it will be the 1 year of Born a Loser. So I'm working on a new version, kind of a deluxe version of the album with new songs, rework of the new songs. For example, I did a rework of my song The Sun with this artist named Johnny from California.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. He made a
honey pie.
Yeah, honey pie. So he made a kind of a new version with me of one of my songs.
Oh, cool.
I work also on 4 new original songs, and of course new music videos that I will not shoot in LA. I will not shoot the videos in LA. It will be shot in France, but I'm really happy about the ideas for now.
Oh wow.
We will see. We are just writing it now.
So what are you doing after tour? Are you just gonna take a break and then keep writing?
I would love to take a break. My break is right now with you, walking in the streets. It's the chillest thing I made for days.
Wow. So
for months maybe.
Go the whole way.
But yeah, no. Actually this year is pretty busy. Like as I'm coming back to Europe, I'm touring Europe, not as a DJ, but with my live band, because I'm mostly touring DJ in the US.
Yeah.
But in Europe we tour live with my musicians. I'm singing, I'm playing keyboards. So yeah, it's like it's exciting. So I'm touring till fall.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a long time.
It's a long time,
sleep.
But it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, I sleep a lot.
Oh, you do?
I sleep a lot. I take baths. I should start meditation. That's my next goal.
Yeah.
It should make me really happy and peaceful. And so that are the main projects for now. I'm touring Australia this summer too.
Oh, wow.
For 2 weeks. And yeah, for now that's already a lot. And
it's a lot.
And I'm releasing the re-release of Born a Loser too.
Wow, it's a lot going on in your life.
Yeah, but it's exciting.
Okay, so I have one last question for you to finish it off.
Yeah.
What do you want to be remembered for?
You know, yesterday I was at the Hollywood cemetery.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm in the cemetery, I'm like, wow, what do I want?
You think about this a lot?
Sometimes, yeah. Huh. But I read somewhere that the more your project is working, in not a artistic project, but any project, the more you are afraid of dying. Sorry, we are ending your video with a really dark, I'm not dark, but sometimes you think about it. But so I was in this cemetery and I was like, what do I want my grave to look like?
Interesting.
And the best one I saw was a classic grave with a book.
Okay.
Not a real book, but a stone book.
Yeah.
and it was written kind of a short biography about the guy who was buried, and I kind of liked it, like a kind of a sum up, quick sum up, like the first paragraph of your Wikipedia page. So maybe okay, let's say that.
So what would it say?
Oh, so it will not be a stone book, it will be a computer screen.
Oh.
Okay. Stone made. With a Wikipedia engraved.
Oh, your actual Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, of course. We engrave Wikipedia, and we engrave the first paragraph, like it's just named MYD, born the 30th of March, was a French musician. That's it. That's all you want to be remembered for. Was a French musician. Was a French musician, and three dots. You say that? Yeah. Dot. What do you think? I think it should definitely be more with your like personality and your ability to bring people joy from your music. Yeah, but it's always so cheesy to read that on the because all the graves got that, you know, like danced his way through LA, interrupting everyone's day. No, actually, I'm really happy because when you do music, you know, your music lasts forever. Sorry about the cheesiness, but your music lasts forever. Really, like when you make a song and you release it, it's not your song anymore. Like it's everyone's song who will want to play it one day. So that's what I will be remembered for sure. Like I'm sure that even in 100 years, not as much as now, but people will play one of my songs. Yeah. Maybe randomly, he will play it and he will. No, it was not this one. And he will play another one. Yeah. No, I think that's a really good one. That it's not just your song; it's everyone's song now. That's very beautiful. Yeah, but it's totally real, and you know, when you are in studio, sometimes, especially with younger producers. They are always thinking about talking about the hits and let's make a hit, and I'm like, okay, it's not you don't choose if your song is a hit or not. It's the people who, wow, look at this house. Oh wow, you should film it for the video. Can we see it? What is it? There you go, you can see it. Wait, hold on. Nice. Creepy house. Perfect. Part 1. We're house touring in Los Angeles today, and today we will be seeing what type of houses that we want to live in. Exactly, and it will not be this one. But yeah, and I was thinking about the hit songs. I'm like, okay, you don't choose if you make a hit or not. It's not a style of music. It's like a hit is like when. It's the people, when your track will be released, it's not your song anymore, and people will choose if they want to play it a lot or not, if they like it a lot or if they hate it. If they hate it, it will not be a hit, but you don't choose what's a hit or not. Yeah. You know, we have this expression in French, and in French you saying that you are making a hit in studio. Yeah. It's as if you are spitting in the air and saying that it's raining. You understand? You spit in the air and it's raining. Oh, spit and it's raining. Yeah. You spit and you say, oh, it's raining. And you're like, no, it's not raining. You just spit in the air. Saying in studio that you are making a hit, it's just yourself saying like, hey, I'm making a hit, but it's not true. It's just you thinking that yourself because you caused it yourself. Yeah. Oh, okay. How do you say it in French? Can you say it like? En français, on dit tu craches en l'air et ensuite tu dis qu'il pleut. C'est faux. That was really pretty. I wish I could speak French all of a sudden, but it's my French poem. Oh. Yeah. Wow. I felt like today was a very educational experience for me, so exactly. Thank you for that. And we're also Wow.
These houses here are so interesting. This one's a... Is this Asian letters?
Maybe.
Maybe. It looks like Asian letters.
If someone can write in the comments what's written.
What does this mean? But yeah.
It means get out of my law.
Basically. Very not welcoming. Yeah, thank you for joining us today on Sidewalk Talk.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. Bye everyone.